Undertale, a 2015 game that took the internet by storm. A game that redefined what it means to simply be a video game. Even calling it a video game, I find, is an understatement, as rather it is an experience as a whole. With what people call outdated graphics, these sprites have so much more character and flair than many fully animated characters, and with a soundtrack that is simply put, amazing. But 6 years later, was the hype real? I heard of Undertale back in the days. Well, not really back in the days, that was really just 6 years ago, and watched all the Let's Plays, but only finally got to finishing the game this year. So, as a patient gamer, and with minor spoilers in this video, I can say that Undertale is still a masterpiece. In Undertale, you play as your named character and have fallen in a mountain, and end up in the ruins of the underground. Here, you are introduced to some of the main characters who help you understand how the world works here, what needs to be done, and what you can actually do here. The contrast between Flowey and Toriel sets a dynamic and tone for what you can do in this world. You can either play the hero, or play the villain, or simply stay neutral. Along with all the enemies that you encounter in the ruins, you learn more about them and their personalities, and even an insight to how they function and live. You encounter some really out there puzzles in the ruins, more characters that quickly go on you as well. Although the game is a linear RPG, this tutorial area is phenomenally designed to help you integrate yourself into this world. I'd like to talk more about Undertale's premise, but I feel like I can describe Undertale far better in the upcoming sections. So let's take a disproportionately short length to the next segment. Classic RPGs are usually a hit or miss with most people. Turn-based combat is hit or miss, pixel graphics aren't everyone's cup of tea either. But Undertale innovates the RPG formula. One minor problem I tend to have with RPGs, even though I'm a really big fan of them, is that you always take the role of a pre-established character in a world, and you kinda just observe their journey. In Undertale, you are literally a blank slate. Your character shows no emotions in his sprites, and responds with some dialogue choices, but you develop the character along your journey. First, let's go over combat. You have your usual stuff, attack, item, and flee options to choose from how you want to deal with the opponents and enemies you encounter. But one of the major points in Undertale is that it's the RPG where no one has to die. Along with those three options, there is also the act option, which gives you, depending on the monsters you encounter, a wide range of options on how you want to deal with them. From flirting to eating dinner. The amount of choices that you can do to interact with a single monster, and not just a single monster, every single monster, is mad. And if you do end up doing the right interactions for each monster, breaking news, you can actually spare them, meaning that you and the monster both leave their lives with your lives intact. Well, leave the battle with your lives intact, yeah. I'll get into it a bit later in this segment, but the choices you have are endless, figuratively speaking. Or you could simply kill them, that's up to you. Another innovation in Undertale's combat is the enemy attack. Yeah, instead of simply them dealing damage to you, you have the chance to dodge their attacks in a bullet shooter form. You control your soul, which you move in WASD fashion, and avoid them from oncoming attacks from your opponent. Monsters even attack you in double battles, where their attacks combine, like a support monster that traps you in a small circle, while the others spring their attacks on you. There are also different segments where your soul itself changes to the dynamic of the battle, where the WASD movements doesn't work how it used to and changes. Undertale's combat mechanics are deep and very well layered, that make sure that each battle you take is far different from the previous one, along with the personalities of each monster that vary how they attack you and act towards you. Everything has a personality. But gameplay isn't just battle mechanics, it's the overworld as well. There are quite a few puzzles throughout the game. These are good puzzles, as they're just fun and unique, and just make you chuckle to yourself when you realize how fun these puzzles actually are. But interacting with characters is also essential. You have some dialogue options that alter the course of your journey, and when I say alter, I really mean alter. Along with how you choose to go about your battles, how you choose to interact with the main cast, you soon realize that you are in a lot more control of the game than you actually thought. Or are you? One of Dr. Phil's main catchphrases is, "You choose the behavior, you choose the consequences." And I think this statement is very relevant to Undertale and how it functions as a game. It constantly reinvents itself, making the relatively short runtime of it a complete blast, truly encouraging replayability, making Undertale's gameplay a solid 10 out of 10. Undertale's gameplay perfectly unites the two next segments of this experience. When I talk about atmosphere, I talk about its world building and music, how it feels to be playing the game, and what the game wants you to feel. Fortunately, Undertale's atmosphere constantly changes, depending on your actions and choices that you make. Undertale's atmosphere is masterfully created. The best will save for last, which is the music, so let's talk about the environment. Undertale has a wide range of environments and areas. I've mentioned the ruins section, but there are a whole lot of areas that all feel really lived in. You learn as the story goes on the history of the underground and stuff. You appreciate the areas more. You can see people chatting in a bar to people hosting a carnival-like stand. It all helps you understand and see how this world works. But as the story goes on, you learn about one crucial thing that reminds you at every save point, which carries on to every battle and every action you do, and that is determination. Determination for what? Determination to leave the underground. To finish the game? Determination to do what is right? The loose concept of determination can be interpreted differently depending on who or when you might be playing through Undertale. It helps make Undertale's atmosphere specific and catered to each individual playing it, and the chances of you having the exact same experience as someone else who played the game is little to none. Even though endings can be the same, but the journey, thoughts and feelings behind each playthrough are always different. For me personally, the big thing that makes Undertale's environment is its music. Music is always essential, as it is the glue that unites what we see and how we should react to the situations that we are presented in the game. Fortunately, Toby Fox is one of the greatest video game composers of this generation, having created one of the best video game soundtracks of all time. Each single note, kick, synth in each song sparks meaning and helps convey the experience in the game. Character themes are all unique and perfectly fit the personalities of them, laid back and goofy for Sans, and warming and caring for Toriel. The battle theme has a very positive and uplifting tone, but the boss battle themes is where the soundtrack truly shines in my opinion. You have probably heard the memes surrounding Megalovania, and there is good reasoning for it. It's simply put a banger. Each battle theme is unique and manages to present what these characters are going through and what you, as a player, are trying to achieve in each battle. Overworld themes are also beautiful. They simply fit into the world, and as you traverse the colourful world, the music guides you forward. But like I said, your choices do matter and carry a lot of weight, which is instantly reflected in its music. Depending on your actions and what you desire to do, music can go as quickly as it came, change its tone. Although the soundtrack is the soundtrack of the game, in a sense, the soundtrack is your own soundtrack of what you choose to do throughout this game, which shows how Toby Fox has masterfully created the atmosphere towards the player's own experience in the game, rather than one universal experience, making this so much more personal. One step forward, no going back. That's how I view Undertale's story. I've said it throughout the video, but every single action you make has consequences. No game that I've played gives the player this much power of how they play the game. As a player, you are in serious control over the outcome of the whole story. The tutorial can change depending on what you do, and you can change your path as you go through the story, and even at the end you can change the direction of the story once again. The story is extremely versatile, and like I said in the atmosphere section, the experience is so much more personal compared to other mainstream games. But, like in an atmosphere where the music overshadows the other aspects, there is one story element that outclasses the others. And that is the diverse cast of characters in Undertale. I might have to go into some minor spoilers here, just to get this point across, but the characters here are so well developed. Usually what you see is what you get, but not here. These characters stand out in this world, but are equally as perfectly made to fit into this world. How you choose to interact with these characters is up to you, and like I said earlier, there are a multitude of ways in which your actions can affect anything they do. Really. But each character is so unique in their own way and how they respond to you all depend on their own personal personalities. Toriel, the loving mother figure that wants the best for people, to Papyrus, the goofy soldier who wants to climb the ranks of the Royal Guard. These characters are so well designed that you feel for them, you want them to achieve their goals, help them along their journeys. Or not. Again, Undertale's wide range of choices and outcomes gives you way too much control in the video game, and that's great. Undertale's story takes you in, and unlike RPGs that kinda make you observe your favorite characters, makes you be a part of their journey, and in turn, they become a part of yours. I think the phrase that I put right there, the friends you've met along the way, captures Undertale's identity as a game, and what it tries to achieve. Undertale's Steam description touches upon the majority of everything that's in the game, and for a game that was created by one person, mostly, this is one of the greatest achievements in gaming. A classic art style that makes its characters feel alive, with a soundtrack that exudes hopes and dreams, mechanics that fill you with determination and heartache. This game does not revolve around your character, or the characters within it, but rather you, the player. When you do put the game away to end your session, choices, interactions, music, and so much more, these things come with you and get you thinking until you do realize, I can take what I learned from here into the real world, as my choices, indirectly or directly, although they might not seem at times, always and truly matter. We are starting off with some great games in the Storm Experience series, but Undertale left me speechless, wanting to get more out of this game, but left me content where it ended. Or not. Depending on how you yourself decide to play this game, or better put, personal experience. Marvelous, amazing, and so on. That's what Undertale is. And with that, good night. Hey guys, I hope that you enjoyed this video and another Storm Experience. Leave a like if you enjoyed it, and comment your thoughts down below, and subscribe for more. So yeah, I think that the next Storm Experience will probably be something that's not a 10 out of 10. So yeah, stay tuned for that one, and I'll see you in the next one. Storm, out.